oh my God, I'm going to go on all day. It's terrible. I'm so defensive. And we're only at the 4s. We haven't even gotten to 3.5, Bill. Like, what am I going to do? It's bad. Hello. I'm Daisy. I'm the director of Party Girl, and I'm here to read some Letterboxd reviews. I'm so happy to be invited by our friends at Letterboxd. And I have with me the music supervisor, Bill Coleman. Say hi, Bill.
Hi. How are you? Hi, Letterboxd.
So we're going from the 5 stars, and frankly, I'm happy to stay on the 5 stars, but we'll start with the 5 stars, and then I think we're going to go down. This is 28 years ago, by the way. It's pretty amazing that Party Girl is getting a re-release 28 years later with no major studio or any big company behind it. It just had a 4K revival for a Blu-ray, and it's now getting an opening in theaters in the last weekend of April. Sean Gilman has lost nothing in the 25 years since I first saw it on a random afternoon at one art house theater in Spokane. My roommate and I didn't know anything about it. We were just killing time. There was one other person in the auditorium. Don't know that I've ever had such a great time in a theater. A perfect capsule of the mid-90s, card catalogs, club kids, casual Orientalism. Ouch. Well, first of all, yay Spokane and yay indie kids around the country. Throughout my career, I've had people come up to me on sets and be like, I saw your film in my little town and it made me want to move to New York. So that's a familiar and awesome story. Orientalism, I have to say, I think Mary is culturally insensitive. I would say it's not the film itself. So like when she's fantasizing about having sex with this hot falafel vendor she met, she hears Arabic music and he's like naked. But if it was an Italian plumber, like she'd hear, I don't know, what would she hear, Bill? Volare, and he'd hold a wrench. Like, I don't know.
Fellini score. I don't know.
Peckmai says, the relationship between Posey and her godmother in this is quintessential 90s indie film bonding, and as the kids say, I am here for it. Well, I love that you appreciate it. The godmother is played by Daisy von Scherler, my great late mother. The part was written for her. She and Parker got on like a house afire. In fact, they would secretly sneak cigarettes together. She also secretly snuck cigarettes with me, and she also snuck cigarettes with my mom, and she never narked on either of us, so that was a true friend of Parker's. But Sasha and Parker got along great, and that relationship was kind of based on my sister, who had a pretty big adolescent rebellion, and they were always butting heads, and so there you go.
I love the scenes with Sasha. I'm constantly quoting her scene.
Sasha, well, yeah, and you put the scenes on the soundtrack, too. You have all Sasha saying, a trained monkey learned this system on PBS in a matter of hours. We should just do that, actually. We should just do lines from the movie, because that's basically what it's become. So let's just do that.
Recode it. Matan. Luckily for me, I'm absolutely obsessed, all caps, working overtime for my job in books that is grossly underpaid and undervalued in hopes of becoming a librarian. Look at that.
That's kind of poignant. We have Ashley, who says, before I'm a feminist, I'm a librarian.
Boom.
Why choose Ashley? Can't we be a feminist and a librarian?
These are not mutually exclusive.
You know, all the stuff about Melville Dewey being a sexist man came directly from an interview with a wonderful woman named Noreen Lucas. And she was had been a really rockin' party girl in the day, but had become a librarian. Not that she was the basis of the movie, but we went and talked to her, and I said, well, I guess you love Melville Dewey because he created the Dewey Decimal System. And she was like, why would you say that? He was awful, and went on this rant about how sexist he was, and it was a woman's job, and that's why it's undervalued. And all of that verbatim is in the movie. So screenwriter kids out there, Letterboxd, we interviewed DJs, we interviewed librarians, interview real folks in real situations, and you will get way more interesting material than just what, one of those Robert McKee have something happen on page 10, screenplay books tells you. Sebastian E. says, I want Parker Posey to yell at me during a Middle Eastern appropriation rave. All right, back with the real appropriation. She's an unlikable character, okay? She is being culturally insensitive. That's why she needs to learn a lesson and change. So I just want to say, we knew that's why he says it's late. Nobody wants falafel, because he knows that she's being low-key racist, or racist, basically. But anyway, that was the point of her dressing that way and appropriating his Lebanese-ness, is that she needs to get her act together and go to that library and learn some real stuff. So, character versus filmmakers. Oh my God, I'm going to go on all day. It's terrible. I'm so defensive. And we're only at the 4s. We haven't even gotten to 3.5, Bill. Like, what am I going to do? It's bad.
Francis Meh. Oh, great. Now I'm horny for the Dewey Decimal System.
Again, really, really important, Bill, to say to the kids now, horny is a good thing, and so are books.
And they have it all here in our movie.
Yeah.
And fun fact for the train spotters out there actually was limited edition Party Girl condom merch that very few people have. We made condoms that said Party Girl coming soon on them.
3.5, Celine says, can we have more 20s female loser representation, please, so I can feel validated? Yes, we can.
Representation matters, Celine.
The most 1995 movie to exist. Thank you, Vivian.
Oh.
I mean, a lot of people, like, why did the film last 28 years? There was a moment where you couldn't even see it because the DVDs were gone and there was no streaming service that had it on. So somehow this is back by popular demand. Like, literally it's back because so many people bought the Blu-ray and so many people watched it on Criterion Channel once they made a 4K resolution. But I guess why is it so timeless? And I do think it has themes that I'm proud of, you know, feminist and inclusatory, etc. But I think it's the music and the, thank you, Bill, and the wardrobe, I think, have a lot to do with the timelessness and, of course, the performance by Parker Posey.
And the quotable script. You're being humble, Daisy.
Yeah,
the script. Everybody walks up to me to this day, even before this 4K restoration. Everyone would quote this film all the time.
2.5. You go first, Bill.
Claire Olmsted. One must imagine Sisyphus as a party girl. I think that's sort of the whole point of the film.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad.
Did I miss it? It seems like that's sort of what you were going for.
Okay, 2 stars. Emily Rugburn says, Parker Posey is so hot, this movie is so bad, and house music is so good. I own your feelings, Emily. I appreciate. I disagree. I don't think it's a bad movie, but I appreciate your point of view. Right? Took it like a champ?
He took it.
War Marshmallow says, good Lord, my dog is better dressed. Well, War Marshmallow, I would say lots of folks in this thread disagree with you.
And so does Vogue.
Yeah, and so does Vogue.
By Warshmallow, with your horrible screen name. Lish says, 2 stars. Parker Posey is a queen. And this was silly as heck. Guillermo Diaz and Liev Schreiber looked like babies and I was unprepared. Just to be clear though, this wasn't a good movie. I would have to disagree with Lish that this wasn't a good movie because I think it's great. And many, many people would agree with me because it's back again, bitches.
28 years later, do you see a re-release of Brothers McMullen 20 years later?
Okay, Sam says, this movie lost me when it made no sense the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Memento. Did Party Girl really make no sense? Like, it's not that complicated. Okay, 1.5 stars. We just got to get over the bad ones quick. Michael Strensky says, and behold, a generation of hipster librarians was born. No issue there. I would also say, aren't librarians kind of always hipsters? Aren't hipsters discovering librarians like their true self? I don't know.
Michael Strensky probably gives all films less than 2-star reviews.
It's like the people on Yelp that are just cheap. They're just
get that
like
feeling from Michael. That's the vibe I get. Yeah. Nothing's getting over a 2.5.
I'd do anything for Parker Posey, but I won't do that.
Stin is trying to be cute with his 1-star review. You know what? And I'm going to give Stin's review 1 meatloaf. Okay.
Girl actress says, also known as Rachel Sano, this reminds me of when I was really depressed but socially popular. Fair?
Isn't Rachel Sano an actress?
Like, do you think it's a real...
Do you think it's a real one?
Oh, really? Oh, hi, Rachel Sano. Wow. All right. Happy to have you.
And happy that it reminds you when you were depressed. Thanks, everyone who has watched this movie originally in the theaters, kept their VHS copies, bought the new Blu-ray, and we'll see it again in theaters, listen to the soundtrack. We are so appreciative and so humbled that our little movie still means a lot to a lot of folks. It means a lot to us. We're happy to be sitting here 2 decades later and people still getting the point. So, recode it.
Recode it. Thank you, Letterboxd, and thanks to the Letterboxd community for joining the party and celebrating the Party Girl love. It's all about fun and inclusivity, and I think that comes across in all of your reviews, even the bad ones. And we're so happy that it's on Blu-ray, Fun City Editions. It's also coming to theaters in the last week of April. But mostly we're glad that all those people that say they found a family, you know, they didn't have their tribe. All those expressions often come up around Party Girl. Like, I knew there'd be people for me, whether it's librarians or party girls or falafel vendors. Your people are out there. Find them. They exist. I promise. Bye.